Hey everyone, students, teachers, parents, guardians, watching this at school, watching this at home, watching from wherever you might be on our cool blue planet. Do you think our planet Earth is worth saving? I am sure you do, and that's why I wrote the book 3 Days Till EOC. If you don't know who I am, hi, my name is Abhimanyu Sukhdial, and I'm a 13-year-old 8th grader from Stillwater, Oklahoma. I love science fiction, and 3 Days Till EOC is a science fiction adventure story of hope. Hope for motivating us to act now to avoid global climate change related disasters that scientists predict could destroy our world as we know it if we do nothing. Scientists tell us that there is hope, but we must act now. What is climate change exactly? Well, climate change refers to significant changes in global temperature, rainfall, wind patterns, and other measures of climate that occur over several decades or longer, and that are harmful to our world as we now know it. Scientists believe that carbon dioxide and other gases such as methane, greenhouse gases, get released in the atmosphere when we produce electricity, drive our cars, fly in planes, and build and consume the countless products in our everyday life. These greenhouse gases are a major cause of global warming and the resulting climate change. Scientists tell us that the increase in the Earth's atmospheric temperature due to the greenhouse gas emission is the most likely cause of the extreme weather patterns we have been recently experiencing. They also tell us that if the Earth's atmosphere continues to heat up, the weather-caused disasters such as droughts, floods, extreme heat, and cold spells will become more frequent and more destructive. Before I started writing my book, I didn't know much about how climate change affected people around the world. However, during the summer of 2019, while I was on vacation with my family in India, I began to notice the frequent news stories on television about weather related disasters. I remember seeing a story about a drought in India. Lakes and rivers were drying up because of the extreme heat, and people were suffering because they couldn't get water. So, that got me thinking. Like me, many other kids might not know enough about climate change and that I should do something to change that. I wanted to do something to motivate people to take action to prevent climate change. So let me tell you about my book that I wrote to do just that. Imagine it is the year 2100, basically about 80 years from now, and because of global warming, sea levels have risen up so much that all the cities and towns around the world are underwater. There are only 1,000 Earthlings left on the planet, and there are 3 days before a giant, super dangerous hurricane is going to destroy Soledad, the last remaining town on the whole planet. If Soledad is destroyed, it would basically mean EOC, end of civilization. While everyone feels there's no hope left on Earth and the only way to save themselves is to get on a space shuttle to Mars, a young climate scientist named Graham believes that Soledad, and thus planet Earth, can be saved. And that is what my book is about. It is about Graham and his journey with his friends, Shelley and Jackson, to a cave hidden in the mountains called the Vault of Secrets, where they set in motion a mind-boggling plan to save the planet that cuts across space and time. Along the way, he rides on a train and travels back through time. He flies on a teleporter that transports him from one place to another in an instant. Basically, a lot of cool things that might be possible with technology in the future. Who knows? In terms of what happens in the end, well, you have to find out for yourself. I don't want to spoil the fun for you. But let me tell you that making the story fun and thrilling was very important to me. I wanted to tell my climate change story entertainingly while communicating the seriousness of climate change. The main message I wanted to leave you, the reader, with is the importance of legacy. The idea that your choices and your actions today are not just about you. What you do today is a little gift you are giving to your children's children, and so on. So, by planting a tree, recycling more, being more aware of what you eat, how much you buy, how long you shower, you help save the planet a little bit at a time. And that little bit helps someone else who will live on this planet after you. 30, 50, even 100 years from now. What we leave to others who are born after us is our legacy. I found this great quote by a famous German writer called Goethe, who said it best. Choose well. Your choice is brief, yet endless. That is the quote that is at the beginning of my book. Before I read something from 3 Days Till EOC, I wanted to share a bit about how I got started writing. Since the time I can remember, I have always loved words and writing. My parents tell me that even when I was just 2 or 3, I loved playing with magnetic letters, the kind that you put on the fridge. I used to make a lot of nonsense and some actual words, and then soon after, I started to read. And a few years after that, I started making silly stories. One of my first stories was all about Abhi, which I wrote in second grade. While it's not my favorite piece of writing to look back on, it represents a time when little Abhi just wanted to make silly stories, and that brings a smile to my face. I kept writing whenever I had time, but in fourth grade, I discovered a children's magazine for kids 14 and under called Stone Soup. Now, keep in mind, I did a lot of searching, so finding Stone Soup was like finding heaven. I contributed a lot of book and movie reviews, some blog posts here and there, until 2019, when Stone Soup announced their first ever international book contest. They said the winner would get their book published, and so I wrote 3 Days Till EOC for that contest, and was super excited when I learned I had won first place and that it would be published. Now keep in mind, even if the book had not won, I would still be pleased because I felt I had written a unique and exciting story that could thrill, move, and inspire other people. And that is the magic of storytelling and why I love it so much. Now, a bit about the writing process. I have learned that no matter what book you're talking about, whether a massive encyclopedia or a simple picture book, books take time to write and a lot of effort. I mean, even Red Car and Green Car took some time to pull together. It may not seem like it, but that writer and illustrator put a lot of hard work into coming up with the ideas for that book, and making sure the words and pictures express the message they want to send out to the world. Now, I know there are a lot of distractions out there. iPad, TV, cell phone, video games, and on and on. You're probably thinking, why write when I could play Roblox or Minecraft? And as I was writing EOC, I got distracted too. But I kept coming back to the story and the writing. And that's another thing. Remember, don't overthink about writing. Get your ideas on paper, but then prepare yourself to rewrite and rewrite to make the story better. Don't watch too many videos or read too many books about how to write. Just write. It doesn't matter what you write. It could be a short story, a poem, a letter to grandma, a longer book like EOC. It doesn't matter. Writing comes from deep within you. Now, I would like you to read a short passage from my book. This passage is from the middle of the book, when Graham, the book's hero, is about to set off on his journey to the Vault of Secrets, where all of humanity's scientific inventions and discoveries are hidden. He's hoping he will find something there that will help him avoid the end of civilization. Graham opened his vintage LL Bean backpack and stuffed into it his weekly ration of dried fruit bars, a loaf of bread, and water. He first emptied the water into his 100% biodegradable Harry Potter bottle, a gift from his parents for his 10th birthday. He also packed an old photo of his mother and father, 2 flashlights, some climbing equipment, a change of clothes, the map, and a small diary. He opened the diary to the first blank page and started writing. Today I leave for the cave, what I call the Vault of Secrets. This trip to stop EOC is my primary goal, and in no way will I travel to Mars, even if I do return from this journey. God has given us our mortal body and our amazing brain to use until we die, and expects us to use them in the proper and correct way. He wants us to use our talents, so why give up? Why weep, even when it feels like everything around you is lost? War, tragedy, and death will never end by us ignoring they exist by responding with knee-jerk reactions. It's how we think of it that matters. How we think of all that horror can make us take action and change the world. It's like we're in a video game that simulates choices for us to make, but unlike a video game where we, an outsider, control what the characters do, in the real world, we choose what to do, with no one controlling us. That is God's gift to us. We can make our own choices, good or bad. If we feel hopeless and say, oh no, surely we can't stop it, then we will act like there is no hope. But we shouldn't. We need to think of a plan, come up with ideas, believe that anything is possible. That is why I am going to the Vault of Secrets, because there's a chance I might find something there that will help stop EOC. Something is drawing me there. I know not who or what. As a scientist, I find it hard to explain. It will be tough, and I might die before I save mankind. But dying like a true and righteous man is better than dying in sadness and sorrow. I am not as brave as I want to be, though. I am scared. I don't know what else to say, but if I can complete my quest to reach the Vault of Secrets and use what I find there to save my fellow men, then I don't need anything more in my life. That will be my legacy. Graham placed the diary back inside his knapsack and fixated on his destination. He thought of the immense happiness he would feel after completing the journey and finally reaching the Vault of Secrets. This relaxed him. At about 6 p.m., he finally headed out. It was unusually quiet, except for the faint sounds of a few night birds chirping. Graham looked at his map, checking it very carefully to make sure he was going in the right direction. He was a man on a mission. Anyways, thanks for listening to my video. I hope it helped you in some way, and there was something in there that was just a little bit entertaining. And just remember, it doesn't matter how old or young you are, you can write too. Just remember that. I'll see you all next time. Special thanks to my brother Abhi and my parents. Without them, this book would not have been possible. Also thanks to the whole Stone Soup team for supporting my writing and publishing my book. And a very special thanks to Nature Generation for honoring 3 Days Till EOC with the Green Earth Book Award.